Hi, I'm Jack Maxwell, and this is The Journey. Join me with celebrity guests Joe Mantegna, Dan Lauria, and Tony Denison in search of our nation's greatest heroes. Together, we'll get to know them and discover their stories of service and sacrifice and hope. I promise you, this journey just may change your life. Cincinnati, Ohio, the 64th largest city in the United States and home to over 2 million people. Cincinnati was recently named one of the 100 most livable cities in the world. It's also where I met up with retired Sergeant First Class Veteran CeCe Mazyck. On November 26, 2003, CeCe's life and spine were shattered. It was a routine jump, but as she leapt, a gust of wind slammed her into another jumper, causing her to hit the ground too fast. On impact, both her L1 and L2 vertebrae burst, leaving her paralyzed. She was told she would never walk again. I met up with her at an airport, getting ready to, believe it or not, jump out of an airplane. So how long were you in the Army?
8 years.
And you retired Sergeant First Class?
Correct.
Take us to the day.
I call it the big day.
Take us back and exactly what happened.
So I jump out, and a gust of wind took me like no other time before. And all I could hear was my fellow jumper saying, "Slip away." He was yelling, "Slip away." And I was yelling back, "I'm trying." And so before you know it, we collided. Chutes were all tangled into one. And we tried to weave our way out, but it was not working. It worked at the very last minute. I did not have time for a proper landing. The ground was right there. This is the ground. You're supposed to land with your feet and your knees slightly bent. This is the way I landed. Boom! Immediately, I was paralyzed on impact. I burst my L1 and L2 vertebrae. And the last thing I remember
Of course, take your time.
was them, the doctors and the nurses, cutting off my boot. That's it. I woke up days later to my mom at my side, telling me that I would never walk again. That was the prognosis, the diagnosis that the doctor gave, that I would never walk again.
But you did walk again.
I did.
So what do you attribute that to?
Hard work and dedication, mind over matter. Through aquatic therapy, I learned, I walked. Even though I started off walking like a robot.
Shoot. And then you were able to walk, in a sense, anyway.
In a sense, yeah,
But
with assistance.
Still, in a way,
yes.
They said you'd never walk.
Absolutely.
At what point did you know you were gonna be okay?
The Winter Sports Clinic.
Tell us what that is.
Such an amazing event that actually bring all disabled veterans together, and that's where DAV and I connected.
It's wonderful to know that through anything, someone, in this case, an organization, is gonna be there for you. It not only says it, but proves it.
Yes.
It's a great feeling, isn't it?
Amazing. DAV is family. They are support when you need support. They are there if you need a job. They're there If you need a shoulder to cry on, they're there. If you need education benefits, they're there. They're just there. They're everything.
Can't say it any better than that. They're just everything. Let's get to something else. We're in a hangar. You're about to jump out of a plane, but what would bring you back to jump out of a plane again?
Perseverance. I just want to conquer it. It's an airborne thing. It's a jump master thing. It's a thing where I'm proving to myself, no matter what, CeCe can do it.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's powerful and it's inspiring. Keep inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you.
You ready?
I'm ready. It's been 20 years. I'm ready to do it again.
Wow.
See ya. See you on the other side, brother.
There they are.
I'm alive! I cannot believe it!
To see her doing that, to hear her laughing, that's a beautiful sight. Give me some!
Oh my God! Thank all of you, the crew, everyone, especially DAV.
Turning a traumatic experience into triumph, CeCe's journey is nothing short of amazing. From earning a degree, to competing for a gold medal, to jumping out of a plane again, her journey is far from over. And that's because of people like you. Your monthly support not only provides life-saving services, but life-giving tools. When we come together to support DAV, we're telling our nation's greatest heroes, we're there for them when they need us most, now and into the future.
Charleston, West Virginia, located right at the confluence of the Kanawha and Elk Rivers. It's got a long, rich history, going all the way back to early American settlements. Charleston is where Army veteran Adam Greathouse calls home. In 2001, Adam's life took a drastic turn during his deployment to Kosovo, where he encountered residual chemical weapons, putting him into a coma for 2 months. When he awoke, he was on life support. He ultimately lost his left lung, had scar tissue on his right lung, and an enlarged heart. Somehow, miraculously, Adam pulled through, only to face a whole new set of challenges. He had to learn all over again how to walk, how to talk, how to write, but thankfully, his journey wasn't over. In 2012, he met DAV and learned all about the National Disabled Veterans Winter Sports Clinic. And in his words, it saved his life. I got to spend some time with Adam, and I gotta say, I was really inspired. I think you will be too. I imagine with everything you've been through, peace of mind is important, huh?
Yeah, it's been a long journey.
How did it start?
I was deployed to Kosovo, and I was on one mission. Woke up the next morning, and I felt extremely exhausted. Went out and did PT. Something was going on because I couldn't really breathe that well. So I went back to the barracks, and then I went to sleep. And when I woke up, that's when my life changed forever. A spore started eating my left lung, and then it started trying to eat holes in my right lung. So I have scar tissue in that, but I was rushed to the med tent. The next morning, I heard him say, "We can't keep him stable, we need to get him out of here." That evening, I put into an induced coma, and then they had the orders, I call them orders, but paperwork saying that 24 hours, imminent death. And then 2 months later, I woke up. I couldn't write. I had muscle atrophy. So I was 215 pounds, solid, 23 years oldish. And then from that point on, when I woke up, I was 110 pounds. And I had like drop feet, and my hands were drawn, and I couldn't really move. So I really hate to say it, but I prayed not to be here. I couldn't live like that anymore. And the reason being is because I failed my country, I failed my unit, and I failed my family.
I could see why you would feel that way, but you have to know, for everybody else on Earth, you didn't fail anything. Something had to happen, because you are here, not just to keep you around, but mentally, to change your mind, to say, I'm gonna be here. I wanna live, I wanna survive, I wanna thrive. What was that?
After I attended the Winter Sports Clinic.
That was the moment.
And that was
the event that changed your
That was the moment, because what I was gonna do is I was gonna go to this event. When I came back, my intentions was, I was gonna commit suicide and take my life.
After,
because it wasn't gonna work. I was just gonna go so my mom would leave me alone, my girlfriend at the time would leave me alone, my TBI case manager would leave me alone.
So this was your big goodbye. You were gonna do this.
I was going.
You were gonna come back and commit suicide.
Yeah, I was gonna prove it didn't work.
What stopped you?
It was a feeling of something that I haven't had since I was a soldier. There's something in there that was just really dark and cold, and I just tried to drink it away, I just tried to keep numb as possible. And then I get there, and then it's just like, you see other people struggling, and you're like, I've been already in this spot, and I'm here, and you're here, let me walk you through it. The feeling of wanting to help other veterans outweighed me wanting to take my life. It not only changed my life, but it saved my life. It's like what the DAV's done for me. They've made me have a foundation when I was so unstable, and then now they have me, footed. I'm secure in my foundation, and then I'm proud of myself, and I'm gonna continue on, helping my brothers and sisters in the community. Yeah.
What a great way to say that. They've given you a foundation. We all need stability. We all need to feel our feet are planted firmly in the ground. Well, thank you, man. It's a pleasure to know you.
Yes, thank you.
It takes just one fateful moment to dim the lights in a person's life. Thankfully, Adam found the spark of hope when he was introduced to DAV. But DAV was only able to be there for him because of caring people just like you. There are so many veterans out there who have experienced life-changing injuries, who are now waiting for hope to ignite again. Together, we can be that spark. They served us and paid the price. But when we stand together and show them we appreciate all they've done for us, they know they're not alone, and their sacrifice wasn't in vain.
Here we are in Mobile, Alabama. Now, you might think a trip here would center mostly around the port of Mobile, the state's only saltwater port. However, this booming and bustling city has so much more to offer than just salty air. Here in Mobile, you can get a glimpse into this city's vibrant population by taking a trip to one of its many museums, catching an opera performance, or taking a tour of the USS Alabama. It's also a place veteran Dave Riley calls home. A Coast Guard and Army veteran, Dave was on active duty at the Coast Guard when he contracted pneumococcal pneumonia, presenting with septic shock. He'd go on to lose all 4 of his limbs from the infection, along with multiple organs. How does it start for you? When you were a kid, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a military officer, actually.
You took a unique approach, though. You were both Army and Coast Guard.
I joined the Army because that's what my whole family had been in. Then I got out and went over to the Coast Guard, and then they sent me to Aviation Survivalment School, and right in the middle of that is when they told me I was going to be a rescue swimmer, because they had just starting the program.
So one day you're in the water. You come out a different man, but you don't know it at the time.
Right, yeah.
What happened?
So we were always in the rivers and the bay, and so I got some kind of a bacteria through my sinus while I was swimming, and 3 days later is when I started turning colors, and my wife brought me to the Coast Guard clinic, and they started the IV, and they really didn't think I was going to survive, because I went into septic shock and then DIC, and they said that my whole body just turned black and the bacteria bubbled out of it. And so from there, I was in a coma from the night I went in, and the afternoon I went in for a month. And when I woke up, I had no limbs. And so it was pneumococcal, which that bacteria is everywhere.
But sepsis is the worst variation of that, isn't it?
Right. It was like burns over my whole body. I was on the 8th floor. They had to debride me every day. And so when I first woke up, I was in a bad way. I went from being a guy that jumped out of helicopters into 30, 40-foot seas and saved people. I was Superman. It was quite disheartening waking up in the bed with no arms and legs and not being able to do anything. Not even feed myself, not be able to go to the bathroom myself, nothing. All the way down to zero. And, you know, it was hard. The local chapter of DAV saw I was having problems. That's when DAV stepped in, gave me guidance, gave me a path, and sent me to the Winter Sports Clinic in Aspen. They call that Miracles on the Mountainside for a reason, because just the experiences that you have with other vets and with the coaches, it's hard to define.
What does it feel like the first time you ski?
I had a problem. The depression was the result of a cause, and my cause, I had been living on adrenaline for 37 years, or, you know, up until the point that I lost my limbs. So after becoming disabled, there was no adrenaline for me, and that's what the missing ingredient was. So when they kicked me off the top of that mountain, I got my adrenaline back again. So, oh, that's the missing ingredient. That really turned me around. Most people that are in that situation, all they need is a sparkle of hope.
Just something, little something.
Just talking to them, giving them some kind of a little path. That's why I like lighthouses so much. You know, it's a symbol to me. And DAV is that lighthouse to many of our veterans. And, yeah.
The lost ships, who can't find their way, come. There's safety right here. Just follow the light, follow this path, and you just might be okay.
Absolutely.
Great symbolism and a wonderful message. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave's story isn't unique. Every day there are more and more disabled American veterans that need the same kind of help Dave received. And because of the support of generous Americans like you, Dave's care wasn't just medical, it was so much more than that. And all it took was someone like you making the decision to join with DAV. Because of that simple choice, Dave found a piece of himself he thought was lost forever. Together, we can give our disabled American veterans the support they need. Your support will allow us to help and lift up those who have sacrificed so much for us and our way of life.
Dave, CeCe, and Adam are some of the fortunate veterans who found healing after their injuries. But for so many other veterans, the journey is just beginning. You can be a part of their journey as they travel their own road to recovery.
Your support lets our disabled veterans know how much you appreciate them and everything that they've sacrificed for us.
The sacrifice our disabled veterans have made for our freedoms is priceless. Will you please join me in making a small sacrifice for them by supporting disabled American veterans?
Your support in this moment honors our veteran service.
Today, with one simple choice, you can join them on their journey and let them know they're not alone. In our short time together, we've met some incredible people and have been inspired by their amazing stories. When we come together, we can do something that will help change the lives of our greatest heroes, this nation's disabled American veterans. On behalf of Dave, CeCe, Adam, thank you for joining us on our journey. We hope to see you again somewhere along the way.